Hello and welcome to Coping with the Sports World. I am Joseph Copeland. I'm here with Chris Kessler, and this is our pilot episode. And we are very happy to be here. I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time. Chris, how you doing? Say hello to the audience.
Definitely excited to be here. I'm ready to talk sports, Joe.
I mean, we do it on the clock all the time. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I should keep that on the down low, maybe. But today's episode is going to be lots of NFL. Obviously, I mean, season kicking
pretty
off.
Pretty much almost everything since we're kicking off in what now? A day and a half?
Day and a half. We cut it close, but we do what we do,
yeah.
you know. We're going to be going over our predictions for every single NFL team and their records for the season, each of the division. Yeah, all 32 teams. 32. So strap in, folks. Whenever you listen, tomorrow, today, or whenever we post this, whenever we get this thing uploaded, well, you guys are going to listen to it. We're also going to go over our top 5 MVP candidates and what we think the order will be at the end of the season, as well as what each conference's playoff pictures will look like.
The MVP thing was a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
I mean,
trying to cut the fifth there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
fifth. Top three to me were real easy, but after that,
that's true. I feel top 5 is a nice rounder. Gives us
gives us
that little leeway
instead of we're just like 3 guys.
Right. You want to start with the MVPs, or you want to start with the teams?
We'll do the teams.
Put it on the back burner. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a specific division you want to start with?
Throw one up in the air. It's up to you.
Well, I don't have it in my hand, Chris, but I guess metaphorically, I'll throw up the AFC East division, that of the Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, and New York Jets. See, the division that's been dominated so much by New England, you forget there's 3 other teams in the division.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we should know, I'm a Buccaneers fan. Chris?
I am a Green Bay Packer fan.
So there's no AFC East bias here.
Yeah, so once we get the
but there might be some bias in the other ones. But we'll start off with the AFC East. So where do you have the Patriots? What is your Patriots outlook?
Patriots I have going 13-3.
Hey, so do I.
Winning the division.
So do
clearly.
I. Wait, you don't have the Jets going 16-0?
Yeah, it's pretty dang close to the opposite, Joe. Pretty dang close. 1-15 for the Jets. And then one I struggled actually giving them. That's how bad I think they're going to be this year.
I was more generous. I gave the Jets 3 wins. I have the Patriots 13-3. I have the Dolphins, led by Jay Cutler, going 9-7. They were a game worse than last year. And then I also have the Buffalo Bills going 7-9, being typical Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I have the Bills kind of with the fall off. With the new coaching regime coming in, I feel like they're going to kind of, especially since their backup running back right now is, I believe, I saw this as Mike Tolbert.
And you do know that every time LaShawn McCoy has an amazing year, the next year he always gets hurt.
And when you have Mike Tolbert behind him, I'm not totally comfortable with that team.
A fullback, basically.
Yeah, he's like 275 pounds.
He's what Eddie Lacy is.
That's a good one. Oh, jeez.
So we both agree on the Patriots first and the Jets in last.
Patriots versus Jets last. Bills 5-11 I have them at.
What do you have the Fish?
Miami I have them at 7-9, but I also looked at this a little before color, but
right.
I mean it's only going to fluctuate maybe a game.
I think they're pretty similar quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they added a whole lot either.
That's true. Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. I mean, Jay Ajayi, another year in the offense.
Yeah,
Devontae Parker, another year. I think Devontae Parker has a good year, though, because Jay Cutler throws it deep. Yeah. All right, that's the AFC East. Patriots unanimously winning. Jets unanimously in the cellar.
Yes.
Let's go AFC South. Might have a little bit of a surprise. I have the Tennessee Titans winning the division.
I don't know who you're surprising with that, because I have the same thing.
I told some people that, and they're like, what are you talking about?
What?
Well, I have the Titans going 11-5. Marcus Mariota blows up this year with all the new weapons he has. Corey Davis, Rashard Matthews, Delaney Walker, Eric Decker, Derrick Henry, DeMarco Murray. Shall I go on?
Their offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Best and young.
I also have the Texans going 9-7, typical Texans.
I have the Texans actually going about 11-5.
You trust that quarterback situation, do you?
I feel like towards the end of the year, I think Deshaun Watson might actually get in. And if he gets in, it's going to be because he actually is ready. But
does that translate to wins on the field, though? He could be ready all he wants.
With that defense, he could. I like that defense.
You have them winning 11 games?
Yeah, like 10, 11 games.
No, this is going to be set. It's 10 or 11. It's not
So
both.
I have them 11.
Okay, all right. It's because at the end of the year, we're coming back to these, and when I'm better than you in every single team, they're going to know why this show was named after me. All right?
Already talking.
Right?
Already talking.
In third place, I have the Colts, a cool 6-10, because Andrew Luck situation just throws everything in the turmoil, and they don't have a very good roster apart from Andrew Luck and T.Y.
Their team is trash, actually. I mean,
they're also. I mean, as an Iowa football fan, they have a heck of a lot of Iowa guys.
Is that a bad thing on Iowa? I feel like because
well, I mean, we're
so bad.
We're not. They have some of their better players at Iowa. I mean, Iowa gave them Bob Sanders and Dallas Clark and Pat Angerer. What a name for a linebacker, by the way. Angerer. Pat get Angerer.
Return green.
And then obviously in the cellar of the AFC South, what else is new? The Jacksonville Jaguars at 5-11 for one reason only. His name is Blake, and his last name is Bortles.
I mean, I have those two flipped, actually. I have Indy going last because of how bad their team is. Like, overall, I feel like Indy's team is just not good overall. Jacksonville's got a pretty dang good defense. And I feel like Leonard Fournette is gonna come in and he's gonna put some.
Yeah, but there's literally no offensive line in Jacksonville whatsoever. So he can get all the touches he wants, but when he's getting hit at the line of scrimmage or behind it, I mean, he's not Barry Sanders.
He's big though.
Yeah, but if you're consistently getting hit 3 yards behind the backfield by defensive linemen, I don't care how big of a running back you are.
He's gonna get them yards, Joe. Just wait for it.
Yeah, volume based, but he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna have the impact that the entire world thinks he's going to have.
Oh, I'm not even that far. They seem like the rest of the world seems to think that he's getting 1,600 yards this year. It's not even close. He's not even gonna get close to 1,600 yards. Not gonna be that.
Is he gonna have 1,000 yards?
He'll have 1,000.
I don't think so.
He'll have 1,000. He'll have 1,000 at least based solely on volume.
I gave him 850.
850.
And 5 touchdowns.
How many total yards do you have the Jaguars getting this year? Like 1,500? No.
Well, I mean, I give him 850 rushing yards, maybe 7 touchdowns, but they're going to be behind a lot. And he's not a pass catching back.
He does not catch well, but I don't know. We'll see how Bortles does. Bortles is the whole wild card in this thing. Like that could be the Bortles from 2-3 years ago.
But they still sucked, even when he was good.
Yeah, because they didn't have a freaking team.
I mean, I just heard today Allen Hurns is now 5th on their depth chart.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
2 years ago, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns.
What happened to that guy? That has been.
He got paid 4 years, $40 million.
You get paid, you're just.
4 years, $40 million, and boom. I mean, then again, if I got paid for him, I would keep working my hardest. What am I talking about?
Okay, Joe. Wait a second.
What?
Sign me, people.
I mean, it's all about getting paid in today's NFL, right?
Yeah, that's true. These contracts are ridiculous. Even for semi-decent players, they're not. They're just getting paid ridiculous amounts of money.
I mean,
it's not NBA semi-decent like that, but
yeah. See, also, just going to apologize. I have a booming voice, and I do get loud occasionally. I'm a loud fella, and Chris is a soft, gentle soul, and he's a soft little feathery voice. And I have a loud, booming megaphone
Joe's
voice.
Echoing throughout this room right now. So
I mean, I'm as these episodes go on, we should just insulate the room with just a sponge padding around us.
Sponge padding on you.
Whoa, easy, Tiger. But you know who could use some sponge padding? The Broncos quarterbacks. Segue!
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
That's how you do it, folks, in the radio/podcast business. AFC West. My brothers and father, if they listen to this, will be happy to hear that I have the Oakland Raiders winning the AFC West division with a scintillating 12-4 record, followed by the Kansas City Chiefs at 11-5. The aforementioned Broncos going 8-8 because that's pretty much what they are. And the Los Angeles Chargers, still sounds weird. Yeah. Chargers going 6-10 because aside from Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen and Tyrell Williams maybe, Joey Bosa, I don't find much impressive about their roster.
You don't like Melvin Gordon?
I think he's overrated. I think he put up.
He's a quick.
He averaged less than 4 yards a carry last year.
Did he?
Yes.
Wow. That's actually kind of surprising.
His numbers were inflated by touchdowns.
That's true.
And I don't think he'll be in a position to score that many vulture touchdowns again.
And another thing is their offensive line is not good either.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not. If he had a semi-decent offensive line, I feel like he'd be better than he actually already is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's a decent pass catching back and everything. I mean, he's not terrible.
No, he's not terrible.
Don't get me wrong.
He's not terrible.
I mean, in terms of fantasy, people are drafting this guy in the first round.
Oh yeah, no, that.
Like,
based on last year, yeah, but I don't know if he repeats.
But you don't play.
You
don't base off last year. You got to base off this year.
What you feel like exactly. Yeah.
I mean, then again, I could be wrong, but who knows? They don't pay me for this, so I don't got to be right. I mean, it's true, isn't it?
That's true. I'm not getting paid.
If I was getting paid and I made up some bonehead things, then you could have an issue. But
exactly. This is why we aren't on the radio. We're just doing a podcast right now.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, Joe. We'll get there eventually.
Maybe once we get past all the echoiness, then we can go on the radio. All right. So you also have Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos.
The Oakland's actually. I'm really close to what you have. Actually, I have 12-4 for Oakland. I have 10-6 for Kansas City.
Fair play.
I'm not sure how their running back /
Kareem Hunt's juicy.
I feel Kareem Hunt, but he's the rookie, and overthinking on rookies is just something that happens. But who knows how he's going to do. Alex Smith, he's never been able to throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield.
But he wins.
He does win. He doesn't make mistakes.
And, I mean, he wins. He's been in the playoffs. Then again, he only does have one playoff win for the Chiefs, but they've been in the playoffs every year.
That's the thing. Their offense hasn't been good enough for them to win the playoff game. Their defense is what's been carrying them for
and they had
years.
They had a prime Jamal Charles at a point.
That's true. Once his knees started going out, they kind of.
And then they have probably one of the two best tight ends in Travis Kelce.
If he Tyreek Hill get suspended.
Tyreek Hill is a gadget weapon.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hate for Tyreek Hill coming in this year. Like, oh, he's gonna be a bust. He's gonna flop. I mean, he did score. He scored 8 touchdowns and 82 touches last year.
He won't score as many touchdowns, I don't believe.
Same thing as Melvin Gordon, yeah.
But he'll
get more touches.
He'll get more touches.
You know, he only touched the ball 80 times last year.
Yeah, he didn't actually play.
So
they didn't know how to use him.
That means once every 10 times he touched the ball, he scored.
Exactly. Does that even count his punt returns, kick returns?
Yeah.
Exactly. That dude just.
Because he wasn't an every down wide receiver.
He's gonna be sitting in the slot this year, and he's just gonna be getting them slant passes all day from.
And them end arounds.
Exactly. They're gonna use him the same, except a little more throwing to him.
I don't see how that's a bad thing. I don't
know why everyone's busting. People are freaking out about it.
I mean, he's not going to be I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but yeah.
No. I mean, as a returner, he might be a Pro Bowler.
Now the Denver Broncos. Brock Osweiler's back.
Yeah, as their third string quarterback.
Well, Paxton Lynch is hurt, so he's actually the backup right now to Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, eventually he'll be third string.
But yeah, I don't trust Trevor Siemian. I don't trust C.J. Anderson.
Who's even their running back?
C.J. Anderson is a starter with Jamal Charles behind. And then
what happened to Booker?
He's on there too. It's just going to be a committee type thing now.
It's ridiculous. Like their receivers, they have receivers. They have Demarius, they have Emmanuel.
But they can't. Trevor Siemian can't get them the ball the proper way, at least. I mean, right. Emmanuel Sanders, yes, because Emmanuel Sanders' route tree stops at 10 yards.
Exactly.
So I mean,
that's how he's always been.
But Demaryius Thomas is severely limited with Trevor Siemian at quarterback.
Yeah, it is not good. I have them at 9-7.
Basically because of their defense. The defense is for as average as the offense is. The defense is. Can you be opposite of average? I guess.
Superb. I don't know.
The opposite. Not average. Not average. The not average Broncos defense is.
Yeah, it just does. I just don't get how you in Denver don't go after a better quarterback.
Well, they drafted Paxton Lynch because they thought he was the better quarterback,
yeah, well,
and then he lost.
He
lost in the training battle to Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, you know you effed up when you lose to Trevor Siemian.
Yes, Northwestern.
Oh, hey, don't forget Chad Kelly. Or did he get cut? I'm not even sure what that is.
I'm pretty sure Chad Kelly got cut. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, unless it's an elite quarterback.
Speaking of crazy, I also don't want to go into the Los Angeles Chargers now.
I still call them San Diego, but...
The Chargers, 6-10. We were talking about them briefly earlier. I don't foresee a lot of impressive things coming out of that camp this season.
No, their offense will keep them in games if anything, but their defense is going to be what is their downfall, basically, and their offensive line.
Aside from Joey Bosa and Jason Verrett?
Yeah, Jason Verrett's even kind of been not living up to his full potential.
He's also been hurt though too.
That's true. So if he can stay healthy, he'd be pretty good. But Joey Bosa is going to improve, of course, because he's Joey Bosa. But after that, I don't see a whole lot coming down from them.
No, we're going to channel our inner Game of Thrones and head to the north. The AFC North. Ba-da-ba-ba. And I actually have the Cincinnati Bengals winning that AFC North division with an 11-5 record. I've always been soft on the Bengals. I've always had a soft spot for the Bengals. I love me some AJ Green. I've always thought Andy Dalton has been wrongly criticized.
He's a pretty decent quarterback.
And Joe Mixon is going to be doing some things here as a rookie.
I don't know who the heck's going to run the ball in that. They got
this could be Joe.
Jeremy
Hill.
It's gonna be Mixon.
Jeremy Hill will start, but Joe Mixon is going to be the touches leader.
Oh God, yes.
So I have the Bengals 11-5. I have them winning a tiebreaker over the also 11-5 Pittsburgh Steelers, led by the Bees, Ben, Bell, Brown, and now Martavis as Bryant as well. That offense is just impressive as heck. And T.J. Watt, who actually was named the starter today over James Harrison, which is
James Harrison's
he's a spot, yeah. But so I have the Steelers going 11-5. I have the Baltimore Ravens led by the average Joe Flacco going average 8-8. And then last place, surprise, surprise, the Cleveland Browns. But I am giving them 6 wins this year with their significantly improved offensive line. They have, I think, the Browns' offensive line is, I think, one of the top 5 offensive lines in the National Football League. They have, obviously, Wisconsin man Joe Thomas. They don't have Alex Mack anymore, but I don't remember his name right now.
Is Treader their center?
Yeah.
Or did they sign him?
And then they got the Bengals offensive guard.
Zeitler. From Madison, too.
Apparently Wisconsin likes to produce offensive linemen.
It's because every Wisconsin offensive lineman is from Sheboygan, and they're 6'5", 340.
You know, I've been to Sheboygan. I was at the PGA Championship event 2 years ago. I was there for 2 practice rounds and then a Friday and then Championship Sunday as well. Oh, nice. I met Phil Mickelson. Nice guy. He actually gave me his autograph. Jason Day. I got his autograph before he won it. That was his first major. He gave me his autograph too. Ricky Fowler was there, but I wasn't gonna be a little schoolgirl and.
Oh, Ricky!
I wasn't gonna push the kids. I wasn't gonna push the kids out of the way to say hi to Ricky. So yeah. I composed myself. I was calm. I was cool. I played it off. I played it off. No, what up, Ricky? He's like, hey man, and he walks. You could tell he didn't even know what the hell was going on. But
does he ever look like he knows what's actually going on?
Oh, when he's on the golf course, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Once he gets off, he's just completely lost.
He looks locked in on the course, but I love me some Ricky Fowler. But we digress. And then that's my AFC North. So Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Browns. What you got?
I have Pittsburgh 12-4 to lead that division. I have Cincinnati only going 8-8. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement there.
There's 3-win differential there. What is? Either you don't trust Joe Mixon or you just don't like the defense.
I don't trust their O-line as much.
That's true. Losing Whitworth and Zeitler, yeah.
And they just cut Eric Winston.
Yeah, but he was kind of.
He was old.
He was old. He's an old timer.
Still an okay serviceable guy. And their defense, they just have too many wild cards for me. Between the fact that Burfict can't stay on the field, or stop trying to kill people on the field,
and then Pac-Man Jones also.
And Pac-Man Jones getting suspended. I feel like that whole defense can get suspended at.
I definitely don't approve of the way they play, but it typically is effective.
It is effective, but it's if they're on the field is the thing.
True that. So, I trust in Ray Maualuga.
He's not even
anymore. Yeah, you're right.
Did he sign with the Dolphins or is he still a free agent?
You're right. I don't know. I'm going Bengals, 11 wins, and when they win 11 games, I'm gonna. What episode will it be? Like episode 30 or something? I don't know. Not that long.
It's not that long. It's only gonna be like
15. 16. Some point in the future, we're gonna come back to this, and you gotta remember when you picked them to win 8 games, and I said 11. You're like, Cope, you're wrong.
I never said you were wrong.
Nah, you just said it right there. You said you were wrong right there.
There is definitely. I feel like they could win more, but I have been winning 8.
Okay. So, recapping the AFC really quick. We both have the Patriots winning the AFC East.
Oh, yes.
We both have the Titans winning the AFC South.
Yes, I did have the Titans winning the AFC
We both have the Raiders winning the AFC West.
Yes.
But I have the Bengals taking the North.
I have Pittsburgh.
All right, so only one difference so far.
It's a pretty significant difference.
It is a significant with 3 wins.
We'll shift gears now to the National Football Conference, also known as the NFC, and we're gonna let's go out west. Let's go to the West Coast, Northwest, where it's all wet. Because I mean, let's be real, the NFC West is all about the Northwest and the Seattle Seahawks and the 12th man. Am I right?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of competition from most teams in that division. I think that might change this year. Might go back, but
49ers.
Okay, Joe, chill out there.
Yeah. Go ahead. Who you got? NFC West.
I have Seattle winning the division, but taking a tiebreaker over Arizona.
So you just copied my AFC North thing then?
Yeah, probably, yeah, basically.
You said, Joe's a brilliant guy. I should use that tiebreak thing again, right?
No, I have Seattle going 12-4. I have Arizona going 12-4. And then after that, it's just not good. I have the Rams going 3-13 and San Francisco only winning 1 game.
So you already have the Jets winning 1 game. You have the Niners winning 1 game.
Yes.
You have the Rams winning 3 games.
I do have the Rams.
So you're saying there's no middle ground. Either you're good or you're absolute garbage.
In these 2 divisions, yes.
And you also were not kind of the Chargers either.
I gave them 6.
I guess that's fair enough. I have the Seahawks also winning the NFC West at 12-4. I have the Arizona Cardinals bouncing back mainly because Carson Palmer and John Brown. I believe John Brown has his sickle cell issue under control and his quad issues under control, and he goes back to the John Brown from 2 years ago. That was a 1,000-yard receiver and made big plays happen. And of course, David Johnson. Arizona is a David Johnson show. So I have the Cardinals going 11-5. I have the Los Angeles Rams going 6-10 because unfortunately they don't have Eric Dickerson in the backfield.
They also don't have Aaron Donald on defense right now either. That's a big hole.
I mean, even if he was there, let's be real, he can't score points.
Exactly.
I mean, he could technically.
He could prevent some points.
Right, but he was a beast last year. How'd that do for them? Exactly. So Rams 6-10, and then the Brian Hoyer-led 49ers with Pierre Garçon, new acquisition, John Lynch, the new GM. I love me some John Lynch, but I have the Niners 4-12, which I think is the second worst record I have so far we've gone through. Andrew Nocevich, our coworker, he's a big Niners guy. He probably won't be a big fan of that if Andrew, if you ever listen to this.
He's gonna hate me.
I don't apologize, Andrew, because the Niners are terrible.
They are terrible.
They're a terrible roster, which is sad because you think of the Steve Young and the Joe Montana days, and now look how far. Even the Jeff Garcia days with T.O.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia and T.O. with the kitchen. No, that wasn't Dallas. Well, it wasn't even the popcorn with your Dallas.
Yeah, no, he was.
No, he was in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But he didn't do the popcorn in San Francisco.
No, he did the Star and got blasted by Roy Williams on the Star.
That was fun. that was pretty great.
So that's the NFC West. So we have that one in common as well. Now, I'm sure you're loving this division coming up. The NFC North. Now, Mr. Packers fan Kessler, can you kick off your Packers fan hat for a second and step back? Or is this going to be homerism for the win?
No, it's not totally
I
homerism.
know.
I have them winning the division. But so does 90% of everybody have them winning.
90%? That's a huge statement. 90% of everybody.
90%
of the 7 billion people on Earth have the Packers winning the NFC. I'm not a mathematician. We all know that if you know me. But I'm pretty sure that 90% of 7 billion is
a lot of freaking people.
A huge majority to speak for, Chris.
Oh, I know.
Maybe you should run for president. If you have 5.5 billion people behind you, maybe you should go for president. Then again, they're not all Americans, so never mind.
That's true.
All right, back to football.
So yeah, Green Bay, like I said, I have them 13-3. I have Minnesota having a bounce back year, winning 11 games. I like that defense a lot. I love
me some Danielle Hunter.
He does like to sack the rusher.
He likes to sack the corner. He likes to sack the rusher. He likes to tackle himself.
Hey, you gotta drop flags somehow.
Ref, he tripped me. I promise it wasn't me. He tripped me. You just can't see him. He's John Cena.
The only question mark I really have on Minnesota, besides can Sam Bradford complete a pass longer than 6 yards, is their offensive line. Everything else I feel kind of comfortable with. I feel like Michael Floyd, once he comes back, might actually be what he kind of was in the middle of his time in Arizona.
So a serviceable 800 to 1,000 yard receiver.
Yeah. And then Diggs is going to be Diggs, what he's been doing the last 2 years.
If he stays healthy,
That's
is.
true. That's
If
the
he's
thing- that's
healthy,
the
I
thing
think he's
too.
a
And then-
legitimate weapon.
When you got Kyle Rudolph, underrated tight end.
Because Sam Bradford literally just
That's
like
true.
locks in on Kyle
That's
Rudolph.
true.
Anything under 7 yards, where's Kyle Rudolph? There's Kyle.
Exactly.
There's Kyle. Yeah.
Oh god, didn't Sam Bradford complete like 72% of his passes?
Yeah, but like as you
They're
said,
like-
nothing
they're
is
like 4 yards.
nothing is
Ridiculous.
downfield at all.
I can complete 100% of screens.
Could you though?
No, I can't.
no, you're right.
No.
All right, so you have the Vikings 11 wins.
I
Wow.
do like Dalvin Cook a lot.
But they just okay. I get that. I get the love for Dalvin Cook, but they just spent money on Latavius Murray to come in, and all people are just assuming that Dalvin Cook's going to just take over. You don't pay someone that much money to come to your team and then be a backup.
But he's been hurt. He didn't play much.
Why?
He hasn't been in the off-season programs a whole lot.
I mean, I'm not
They're
impressed.
gonna split carries.
Yes,
for
I
sure.
feel that Dalvin Cook is the same Joe Mixon spot. They're both.
By
by week
week 7.
7.
By the week 7, I think they're both gonna take over.
I still would take Joe Mixon over Dalvin Cook.
Joe Mixon was like the most talented running back in the draft.
Just don't hit women.
Exactly. If you don't do that, you're a top 5 pick, bro.
And then Lions.
I have Detroit 6-10.
Hmm.
I don't like their defense.
We could have varied hugely in this division, just so you know, after the Packers. But continue.
Get out of here. The Bears. What do you have the Bears at, Joe?
I have them in last place.
I have them in last place, clearly. What do you have their record?
4 wins.
I
4
have
and
3.
12.
I have 3. It could be 4. I've been yelling at Dave all week
I-
about it, so.
Yeah, and hopefully Dave will be able to join us in a future podcast episodes. He has some things to take care of, so. Dave, Bears still suck.
Just insert that in there.
But yeah, Bears I think going 4 and 12. But see, I also agree Packers win the division. So I guess I'm one of the 90% of
See, I
everybody.
told you.
I'm 90% of
100%
everybody
of
too.
us.
All right, there you go. But I have them at 12 and 4. Now this is where things get kooky. I have the Lions 10 and 6. You have them 6 and 10. I have the Detroit Lions going 10 and 6 because let me list off a couple of reasons why. Ready? Ready to hear this? Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Eric Ebron, Kenny Galladay, Amir Abdullah. Okay. Now, let me start off with Matthew Stafford.
Kenny Galladay's a rookie.
Okay, so rookies can't make impacts?
No. People are assuming Kenny Galladay is going to come in and he's going to
If he's the 4th target on that offense, I will take it as a
That's
fan.
true,
If I'm a
that's
Lions
true,
fan,
but-
I would take that. Well, you had your Lions spiel. Let me get my Lions spiel, all right?
Go ahead.
All right. First of all, they have the highest paid player in NFL history under center, Matthew Stafford, who hasn't missed a start since 2010, which is fantastic, coming off of one of the better years of his career as well. I think Stafford throws for 5,000 yards. And then I think that Golden Tate, I'm not a big Golden Tate fan, but the man catches passes. He does. He gets open. He gets open. So Golden Tate is a solid option. But I think the key is Marvin Jones bouncing back. He signed a big contract last year from Cincinnati.
He started off hot.
And then he got, the first month, he was like the best receiver in football.
Yeah.
And then he just vanished. But if
I
Marvin
had him on my
Jones,
fantasy
if
team,
Marvin
it was kind of
Jones
upsetting.
comes back to the form he had with Golden Tate, and I mean, that's a lethal combination.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm banking on, I like Marvin Jones. I think he's an underrated receiver.
Oh,
I liked him in Cincinnati as well,
that's true.
alongside AJ Green. But I mean, it's easy to look good next to AJ Green, but I think Marvin Jones has a big year as well, so that's 2 legitimate weapons. Eric Ebron, I think, is an underrated tight end. He's a red zone threat. He's one of the more athletic tight ends in the National Football League, and you can't deny that.
He is.
And then the key as well, I think, is in the backfield. Amir Abdullah. When he's on the football field and healthy, he's very good. I think he can do it this year. If he plays at least 13 games, he'll come 1,000 yards, but he can also catch.
Yes.
I like some Amir Abdullah. Whenever I've seen him play, he's put up explosive numbers.
Got 2 pretty good receiving backs.
Yeah, Theo Riddick as well, yeah. So I think the line on the defensive side of the football, they're not great or elite by any means, but they're not going to have to be with that offense.
That's true.
So that's why I have the Lions winning 10 games. And then again, you're on the Vikings, another 3-win difference. I have the Vikings 500, 8-8. Why? I don't like Sam Bradford. I don't like that offensive line. I'm the front 7, amazing. And apart from Xavier Rhodes, the rest of that secondary, I'm not thoroughly impressed by. But mainly it's the Sam Bradford offensive line.
Harrison Smith. You only Harrison Smith?
I like Harrison Smith has destroyed me in Madden many a times. But I don't know. If I'm looking at this roster, the offensive line, Sam Bradford, I can't see them winning more than 8 games. Like I think Danielle Hunter,
Is it Daniela or
Danielle.
Danielle Hunter? Well, Hunter.
Who knows?
I think he has 15 plus sacks this year.
Hey, it's a definite possibility.
I think he has 15 plus, but they still finished 500 in my view, 8-8. So this is, I think, the biggest discrepancy so far for us between the divisions. You have the Lions 6-10. I have them 10-6. You have the Vikings 11-5. I have them 8-8. So I mean, there's those two teams right there. So once again, when the Lions tear it up this year, and you look like a fool, I mean, you're gonna.
Oh, jeez, you're lucky I have.
What?
You're lucky I have Minnesota losing to Tampa Bay, or else I'd be talking.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, you know what? Let's go down to the warm weather with hopefully there's. By the way, Hurricane Harvey. Hopefully everything's okay down there. Well, also Hurricane Harvey. That's still.
Oh, that just
that just happened.
Yes.
Yes. So both of those are.
Irma coming up, and then there's another one forming behind Irma.
Yeah, Mother Nature is really mad for some reason.
Crapping on Florida.
But NFC South. So I am a Buccaneers fan, but don't go crazy now. When I have the Buccaneers winning the division,
I'm not totally against that.
I have them winning 12 games, winning 12-4, and this is in a perfect world. All right, a perfect world. I mean, all these picks are in Joe's perfect world. So I think Jameis Winston's going to take another step in year 3 after already being the most prolific quarterback in his first 2 years in the NFL. He takes another step in year 3 with all the extra weapons. Deshaun Jackson alongside Mike Evans, O.J. Howard alongside Cameron Brate. Doug Martin has looked the best he's looked in about 2 years, I believe, in this preseason and training camp. He misses the first 3 games, but it was not an issue because Jacquizz Rodgers was serviceable last year. And I think our defense is absolutely outstanding. We have elite all-pro players at each level. We have Gerald McCoy anchoring the defensive line. We have Levante David anchoring the linebacking core. We have a Brent Grimes and now a T.J. Ward at safety.
T.J. Ward, to me, though, I don't know how much of a DB he is. He's more of a small linebacker.
I'm okay with that. He's a Pro Bowl safety.
Just Denver. I don't know what you're doing.
If he records 87 tackles, 5 deflections, 4 interceptions like he did last year, I'm okay with that. I would 100% take that. But also, don't forget, I think we have Quan Alexander at the middle linebacker position.
Yes,
he led the NFL in solo tackles last year.
I don't get it.
On the defensive line, along with Gerald McCoy, whose jersey I'm wearing right now. We have Noah Spence, one of the better young pass rushers in the league today. We have a Robert Ayers, a veteran pass rusher on the other end. Also, we have big man Chris Baker and Clint McDonald next to McCoy on the inside. I mean, our defense is legit.
It is.
And I think we have, with the Atlanta Falcons, have the most talent in the division.
Oh, yeah.
And I just feel like this is the year 3 of Jameis with all these weapons and tools on offense and defense. I think DJX is a great year, by the way.
He will, with just straight deep passes.
I think the Bucs win the division with 12-4. And the defending NFC champion Atlanta Falcons, I have coming up just behind them at 11-5. Again, there's no denying the talent on that team. Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Julio, Matt Ryan. I mean, there's a really, really good football team, but I mean...
Hooper.
Austin Hooper, the tight end,
Underrated.
I have the Panthers. I'm not as sold on the Panthers as some people are. They're claiming the big bounce back, but I have the Panthers winning 8 games this year, going 8-8. I think they go 1-4 against the Falcons and Bucs combined, which means they're about 8-4 or 7-3 against the rest of the NFL. And then I have the Saints going 6-10 purely because there's just no defense. And Drew Brees is about to be 50 years old and
He's still good. Still throwing.
I think he'll throw for a lot of yards this year, but they won't be impactful yards, if that makes sense. They won't be coming
in trailing a lot.
Yes, they won't be coming. Defense. Ted Ginn, decent signing, but he's not Brandon Cooks.
No, he's not even Deshaun.
Michael Thomas will be a stud, but
Michael Thomas is going to get all the targets.
But Willie Snead being suspended. Coby Fleener, nothing. I'm not impressed at all. Coby Fleener, he's been disappointing in that offense. Actually, to be weirdly, he was better in the Colts offense than he's been in the Saints offense.
That's because he had the Andrew Luck connection for 4 years before that.
In Stanford, that's true. That's true. So I have the Saints bringing up the rear.
And even for the first 2 years, Andrew Luck was throwing the ball to Dwayne Allen Moore.
Yeah, it's true. So I have Bucs, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. NFC South.
I have Falcons, Bucs, Saints, Panthers.
Another different one. Okay.
I just flipped Tampa and Atlanta with you. There, I have Atlanta going 13-3, Tampa going 11-5. I have New Orleans 7-9. Same reasons that you brought up. I have Carolina at 5 wins.
You're not hopping on the McCaffrey train or the Cam bouncing back train. I think personally, Kelvin Benjamin's going to be a bust this year. I think he's highly overrated. He's very limited in what he can do. He's a big body.
He's a big body.
That does not run routes.
Yeah, you need to be able to run routes if you're just a big body, and you're not. Greg Olsen is going to be, once again, leading receiver on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Unless McCaffrey just come out and slots everything. Who knows? With how much they're going to be losing, they might play him at receiver more. But who knows? He's gonna come out. I think McCaffrey's gonna have a good year for a rookie. He's not gonna get the 1,000 yards rushing. He's not.
He's not the kind of guy.
Jonathan Stewart is gonna still run the ball.
Can you believe that Jonathan Stewart was at Oregon when that whole program turned around? Him and Joey Harrington turned the Oregon football program around.
Joey Harrington.
On the cover of NCAA 02 or whatever it was.
Oh, God, that was the worst pick. No, never mind.
Ryan Leaf, hello.
That wasn't even the worst. That was not a
Paging
good pick,
Mr. Leaf. All right, so
I was going to say for Detroit, but they've also drafted every receiver you can possibly think of.
I mean, Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson was the only. Yeah, Charles Rogers.
Okay, for every Calvin Johnson.
The other Mike Williams.
For every Calvin Johnson, there is a Mike Williams and a Charles Rogers. Yeah, all right, so you have Falcons, Bucks, Saints, Panthers?
Saints, Panthers,
okay.
Yes.
All right. And now, actually, I think one of the more difficult divisions, I think it's probably apart from the NFC South, has the most parity. The NFC East.
Yes.
Now, I know last year was amazing. The Zeke Dak show, the rookies exploding onto the scene, everyone falling in love with America's team, which, by the way, they're not America's team. I hate that phrase. They're actually America's most hated team. Is that
I feel like they might actually be both.
Is that what makes a team America's team? Because everyone hates you? I don't understand.
I feel like they might be both.
Fair enough.
They're hated by a lot and they're loved by a lot.
I see regression in the future of the Dallas Cowboys.
Even depending on how the Zeke situation comes out, which
it's looking like he's going to play week 1. But.
Is he? Who knows? Even if he plays, I don't really like them as much as some people seem to, especially Skip freaking Bayless.
Fair enough. Okay. So I have the New York Football Giants winning the NFC East, going 11-5. I like Eli Manning. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. is Odell Beckham Jr. The addition of Brandon Marshall is going to be fantastic for that offense. A great red zone threat. He can also mentor second-year Sterling Shepard, who was very impactful as a rookie receiver out of the slot as well. Rookie tight end Evan Ingram for the Giants, also another option as well too. He's going to give Eli Manning juicy options. And though everyone likes Paul Perkins on the backfield, I'm not sold on the Giants.
Just based on what did he do last year? He averaged like 3 yards a carry, if that.
He'll be volume based at best, but the passing attack from the Giants, and then I love their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge fan of Landon Collins. I think he's one of the 3 best safeties in football.
Leader.
And so I see the Giants going 11-5, and Eli being a veteran doing Eli-like things. And then I have the Cowboys regressing from 13 wins back to 9. I have them going 9-7 this year, partially for, I think, the league getting another year to look at Dak Prescott, forcing him to do things he's not comfortable doing. And I just don't like the Cowboys' defense. The Cowboys will score points, especially if Zeke plays.
They will.
They'll put some points up. Dez if he stays healthy, which is probably never.
Hey, he looked like he's in pretty dang good shape this year, but
no, I drafted him on a few fantasy teams. But that Cowboys defense, no thank you. I don't want any part of that. So Sean Lee's great.
Oh yes, Sean Lee is one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
But he can't do everything.
That's true.
So I have the Cowboys going 9-7.
They lost their second best linebacker probably.
Yeah, another Iowa product, Anthony Hitchens.
Yes.
78 tackles last year. Yeah.
Who are their DBs anymore? I don't even know. I know they had I don't even remember his name. Jones out of Connecticut, the dude that was jumping.
Sias Jones or Sias Jones? No,
Tyus. No, not Tyus Jones, the basketball player.
Duke, yeah. But I just don't. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see the Cowboys.
No.
I mean, they're not going to completely fall into nothing. They still win 9 games, 9-7. Third, I have the Washington Redskins, 500, 8-8. Kirk Cousins, good, not great. Terrell Pryor, good, not great. P. Ryan and Rob Kelly, good, not great. Defense, you know it, good, not great. So Redskins 500, 8-8, and then the Eagles 7-9. So it's a pretty balanced division. I like Carson Wentz and the addition of Alshon Jeffrey, so they'll put up a nice little connection there. But I think LeGarrette Blount
does not put up the numbers in Philly that he did in New
No,
England.
God. I feel like LeGarrette Blount, he left New England once, and how'd that go?
Yeah.
That did not go great at all.
So I see the Eagles going 7-9. So Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles. Chris?
I'm pretty close. I have the Giants at 11-5 for all the reasons you said.
Great minds think
See,
alike.
it's literally the same reasons that you said.
You
Paul Perkins, I don't like at all.
Look at this.
Him at all.
I mean, maybe I should just talk and just Chris. Like I agree.
No, I agree.
I agree. Joe.
Have some more crap. No, Dallas. You have 9-7. I have 10-6. Game difference. It happens. Whatever. I have Philly actually taking third. I have them going 8-8. I think that they have enough running backs on that team to even if LeGarrette Blount crashes, they'll be okay. Sproles, no. I have to look up. I'm not sure if Corey Clement actually made the team.
If you have to look up Corey Clement as the next piece after
No,
LeGarrette
I'm
Blount.
just like Wendell Smallwood, and he did make the team, but Wendell Smallwood, he could be a sleeper in the right. I mean, he's not gonna be great.
You want a sleeper Samaje Perine, Washington.
Perine, exactly. Perine, Robert Kelly. Perine, there's a reason, dude. Does he still hold that record?
Mm-hmm.
That whole yardage in a game record? That he's a good running back. But yeah, I have like a Philly 8-8 just because Carson Wentz second year. See how he goes. He might regress. He might progress. Who knows? But Washington, I have 5-11 for basically all the reasons you said. They have nothing great.
True.
They have nothing really even good.
True.
They have Kirk Cousins and Terrell Pryor.
Jordan
Reed.
Josh Doxson.
Josh Doxson. He can't stay healthy either.
It's been 1 year. I didn't mean you can't stay healthy. Give him more than a year.
He was hurt in college, I believe, too, wasn't he?
Not significant injuries.
But he...
Football and you get hurt when you play football,
That's
Chris.
true.
It's,
You blow out knees all the time, but no. Jordan Reed has got the talent to be up there with Gronkowski.
if he stays healthy, that's a guy who can't stay healthy.
Jordan Reed, if he plays more than 4 games this year.
Jordan Reed, if he can stay healthy, brings a whole other dimension to that offense.
Exactly. He opens the field up. If you don't have Jordan Reed, who's your backup? Niles Paul?
Did they re-sign Vernon Davis?
No, they did have Vernon Davis. So they have Vernon Davis.
50-year-old Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis, and I'm surprised he's still playing. I just don't get why he's still playing.
He's getting paid, that's why.
That's some people can still get paid, and I don't want to play no more.
Laughing all the way to the bank, man.
That's true. Or maybe he's crying at a table.
I think he's laughing to the bank. Oh, is that a gambling joke? Oh, okay, gotcha.
No. The draft when he got drafted.
Now you gotta tell the story for the people who don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So when Vernon Davis got drafted, I literally thought he was gonna flood out the draft room. He cried so much. I hope he doesn't hear this, or he's gonna hunt me down.
Are you making fun of a man for being happy he made it to the NFL?
No, I'm not making fun.
That's
For the amount that he cried, though.
It sounds like you're kind
The
of making
amount
fun of
that
the
he
guy.
cried.
You know,
It was
Chris,
unnatural.
real men cry. Do you realize that? Like, it's okay. You
It's
can
okay.
shed
Let
tears
your
to
feelings
cry.
out.
Like when you found out this episode was happening, I saw you cry.
I did cry a little bit.
I saw your tears bawl and started
It
walking.
was a little.
You couldn't read your notes. You were crying so much. You were just like, I'm so happy to be here, Joe.
I might have actually.
And I'm like, I promised I wouldn't talk about it on air. Oh well. I don't.
Joe.
It's what I do.
It is what you do.
Speaking of what I do, I also make really good predictions about playoffs as well.
Yeah. We'll
So-
do that one here.
Let's look at that. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
Great.
But
God, if you people could have saw what just happened. Oh.
and there's a whole little dance with that thing too. Let's look at the AFC playoff picture. So I have the Patriots obviously getting home field advantage as the top seed. I have the Oakland Raiders being the 2 seed, so they both get the first round byes. The 3 seed is my Cincinnati Bengals, the AFC North winners. And then I have the Tennessee Titans as the 4 seed with the Steelers and Chiefs as the wild cards. And so that would basically, my first round wild card matchup would be Bengals, Chiefs, Titans, Steelers. 2 pretty intriguing matchups, actually. I mean, on paper now, it's hard to project what they look like in 4 or 5 months.
Right,
But-
this has very small chances of actually happening. But
But I have the Steelers beating the Titans in the 5-4 matchup, so 5 over the 4, and then I have the Bengals beating the Chiefs in the 3-6. So that would mean that the Steelers would head to New England for the divisional round, and the Bengals head to Oakland for that. So we have Oakland, Cincinnati, New England, Pittsburgh. 2 also pretty juicy matchups. I have the Patriots at home, Tom Brady doing Tom Brady-like things, aka winning playoff games at home in the winter. And the Steelers go home, and then I have the Raiders, led by the explosion of Derek Carr, beating the Cincinnati Bengals. So I have the top 2 teams in the AFC on my thing going into the AFC Championship game, Patriots-Raiders. And then, do you think I'm going to go Patriots or Raiders? Where do you think I'm going?
Man, I don't know either way. I've been fighting with that myself.
Well, just take a guess.
I'm going to go...
How well do you know your co-host, Chris? How well do you know your co-host?
If you say New England, you might not have a house to live in, so I'm going to go, you're going to say Oakland.
Looks like I gotta find a new house then,
Oh,
huh?
dang, it's my new house.
I'm going New England Patriots. But as Lee Corso says, not as closer than you think. There you go.
It's that game. If it happens this year.
I'm not saying it's going to be a replay of the Tuck Rule game.
No, God.
But that closeness and competitiveness will be on display.
Oh, yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won,
I would not.
but I have the Patriots winning a nail-biter. No, a shootout.
It's the Patriots.
Let's go 38-35 Patriots over the Raiders in the AFC Championship
score
game.
predictions and everything
For that
too?
particular game, 38-35, I have the Patriots over the Raiders to make a spot in the Super Bowl theirs. Your AFCs?
My AFC. Okay, 1 seed, New England. 2 seed, Oakland. Same. 3 seed, I then have Pittsburgh. 4 seed, Tennessee. 5 seed, first wild card, I have Houston. And then as the 6th seed, I have Kansas City. So that will make your buys, you have New England, Oakland. And then I have Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Tennessee, Houston.
AFC South matchups, eh?
Yes.
All right.
That just adds to the playoff. I have who did I have winning? I had Pittsburgh beating Kansas City mainly because Kansas City
doesn't win playoff games.
Doesn't win playoff games because Alex Smith
Is
can't
Alex-
take over a game.
Alex Smith is Alex Smith.
That's true. Then I had Tennessee beating Houston. I have Mariota. Mariota's gonna have a year.
Who has the better year, Mariota or Jameis?
Jameis. I have Jameis having the better year for sure.
I think they both have great years, but continue.
So what do I have? I have New England versus Tennessee. That game, I feel like, might actually not be very close at all. So I'm going to have New England winning that game. And then I have Oakland-Pittsburgh in Oakland. That game might be a nail-biter. Might be a hard-fought game. Two franchises that like to duke it out.
What you got?
I have Oakland still winning that game.
Again with the copying,
I know,
Maybe you should just go first and so that way you don't look like you're copying.
Oakland this year, that defense, it's all going to come down to their DBs. That's the only thing that I have any sort of in with is Oakland on his DB.
Speaking of the Raiders defense, I thought it was awesome that Khalil Mack is now sponsored by Mack Trucks.
Oh,
I think it's the greatest thing in the world. It's the greatest thing. I want him. My dream is for Khalil Mack to drive the AFC Championship game in a freaking Mack truck. Just pull up in a Mack truck and say, "Khalil is here." That's what I want. Then my life will be complete.
Yeah, that would be.
Apparently, I'm a man of simple pleasures.
My life will be complete.
Okay, so you have Raiders, Patriots as well.
Raiders, Patriots.
Now, do you want to live in this house, or where do you?
I can see Oakland winning it, but just because it's New England, I can't let New England lose. New England's going to win.
I don't want New England to win again. I just think they
I don't want them either. I hate them.
I just think they will.
It's just Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady.
But I got to be professional, so we got to pick the Patriots.
Yes, exactly. I got to actually make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Watch this video of the Patriots like go 5-10, 5-11.
It's blowing out Achilles again.
Oh man. So we both have the Patriots coming out of the AFC.
Yes.
Do you want to start the NFC this time so I can copy you?
Yeah, we could.
What is your NFC playoff?
My
picture?
number 1 seed is going to be the defending NFC champions, the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh,
followed by the 2 seed, the Green Bay Packers.
All right.
My 3 seed is Seattle. My 4 seed was the New York Football Giants. My wild card teams coming out of there were Arizona and Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Tampa Bay. So my first round matchups are Seattle, Tampa,
Oh.
and the Giants against Arizona.
Oh my. Let me guess.
Those are two.
Let me guess. So you have the Seahawks over the Bucks and the Cardinals over the Giants.
Actually, it's opposite.
Oh!
It is opposite.
You gave my Bucks the Seahawks
I
win?
did.
Woo, wow.
In Seattle.
Woo, whoa. That's
In the playoffs.
Wow, that's...
I Tampa this year, Joe. Jameis.
As a
he's
Bucks
coming
fan,
back.
I
He's coming
appreciate
back.
that.
He's
I
coming
feel
back.
it. I
He's
feel on
coming
that. Hashtag Buck Up.
So, yeah, no. So, what would that make me? I'd have Arizona. No, not Arizona. Atlanta against Tampa.
You like these divisional matchups in the playoffs.
Apparently, I didn't do this on
It
purpose.
just worked out that way.
And then Green Bay, the Giants. That seems to be a playoff rival. That happens way too much for it not to be a playoff rival.
That's true. Was it Brett Favre's last?
Oh, Brett Favre.
That
That
pick,
throw was horrid.
That pick, his last throw as a Packer?
I believe it was.
That was his last
I
throw
believe
as a
it
Packer
was.
in that yeah.
Throwing to Donald Driver. It wasn't
ill-advised.
Donald Driver, it was the DB.
It wasn't even close to Donald Driver.
No.
All right, so we got your divisional round of NFC.
Sorry, Tampa Bay is going to end there. They're going to end
Fair
at
enough.
Atlanta.
I mean, to be honest, if we got that far this year, I'd be totally happy. It's only year 3.
Year 3 of Jameis.
Right, and I
They're
mean,
Cooter.
we haven't made the playoffs in like 10 years. It's Cutter, by the way.
Cutter?
It's not Cooter. Where'd you get Cooter from?
Jim Bob!
It's Dirk Cutter.
Dirk Cutter.
All right.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Dirk Cooter. All right, continue.
Then I have Green Bay over the Giants.
Okay, no surprise there.
Both close games. This is the NFC playoffs. I feel like it's going to be a lot
So you
closer.
have Atlanta, Green Bay.
Atlanta, Green Bay again.
Who we got?
Who do you think, Joe?
Clearly the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, yeah, get out of here. No, I have the Green Bay Packers going to the Super Bowl. My Super Bowl of Packers-Patriots.
Okay, all right. Now we'll take a look at my NFC playoff picture with the Packers, the top seed, with the Seahawks as the 2 seed.
Ooh.
And then I have the Bucks as a 3 seed, Giants the 4, Falcons the 5, and the Cardinals, led by David Johnson, getting in as a 6 seed out of the NFC West, which would be
same teams.
first round matchups of the Bucks hosting the Cardinals and the Giants hosting the Falcons. Now, Giants-Falcons, I think it's kind of a mismatch. I think Falcons win that even in New York, so the 5 seed Falcons advance. Now, Bucks hosting Cardinals. Intriguing matchup, if you ask me. That is just a weird. That's just, and it's hard. It's hard. I love me some David Johnson. I love me some David Johnson a lot.
David Johnson.
But I think the Bucks have more talent.
They do.
I do.
They do.
I
believe they
think
do.
I think the Bucks go into the NFC divisional round over the Cardinals. So that means some NFC playoff picture looking is Falcons at Packers, a round earlier than you, and then I have Bucks at Seahawks. Now, see, this is where we stop. I have the Seahawks at home beating the Bucks because that's Jameis's first road playoff game in Seattle.
That's true.
That's just a lot. I mean, I would love to see him win, but as a fan, yes. But as a analyst or whatever you want to call us,
Whatever you want to say.
I'm going to have the Seahawks beating the Bucks in the 2-3 matchup to go to the NFC title game, and then Falcons-Packers. Falcons going into Green Bay again. I think they're pretty evenly balanced, but I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Matt Ryan.
Aaron.
So I have the Packers advancing. So it's a 1-2 matchup in the NFC as well for me.
No.
So I have Packers-Seahawks facing off in Green Bay for a trip to the Super Bowl. And now this is what's really annoying to me because if I say Seattle, then it's just New England-Seattle, and we look like we're playing it safe. Yeah. And if I say Green Bay and New England, then I'm playing it safe either way. So, you know what? Just to be opposite of you, I'm going to go Seahawks going to Lambeau in the NFC title game and win. So I have Patriots-Seahawks once again in the Super Bowl, and you have Packers-Patriots, and I say there is no ring number 6 for Tom Brady this year.
I don't think that they win.
I think that Russell Wilson, Cam Chancellor, and them boys get another one.
Richardson's going to be a big pickup.
Get another one, and the Seahawks beat the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. You?
Packers winning.
No analysis needed.
I don't think that Tom Brady gets 6. I like the Packers. Like for some reason, I mean, I'm a homer all day, but I like that Packers team.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see like a Bucks-Bengals Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean, NFL. The NFL would hate that.
What's going on?
The NFL would hate that, but I would love a Bucks-Bengals, or I would see Bucks-Cardinals in the NFC title game. I'm cool with that, but I mean, I'm also gonna be.
NFC has a lot of.
I have to be a realist at the same time as well. And realistically speaking, for me, in my current predictions, for Jameis, his first road playoff game to go into Seattle
against them boys is.
True.
I mean, they can probably get it done. We've won in Seattle before, but not with Jameis in their center, and not in a playoff environment. So that's just. I think if this
It's
is
going to take everything
perfect
that they have for
right.
sure.
I don't
Which
think
is why I have them losing in the second round.
I agree. I have them losing the divisional round as well. I just don't think we get blown out of the water by Seattle by any means. But we just, I think Russell Wilson having been there before with Jameis, but year 4 next year, I think the Bucs are here to stay.
They're gonna be a
Here to
force.
stay.
It's gonna be a force.
So you have the Packers winning the Super Bowl, and I
Yes.
have the Seahawks. We both have the Patriots
NFC.
coming out of the AFC.
Yes.
We both had them beating the Raiders in the AFC title game. I think we had almost the identical playoff team, except I had.
You had Cincinnati. I had Houston.
Yes, I had. Yeah, that's it. And then
Otherwise, it was
everything else
just
was
kinda
different
flipped
seedings.
around,
yeah. But it's the great minds think alike, or just dumb minds think
Yeah,
alike.
we
One of the
might-
two. One of the
who knows?
two.
Well, we'll see.
Hopefully it's somewhere in the middle at least, so we look kind of like knowledgeable into some later points,
Yeah, that'd be great.
When we have the recap episode and come back to all this stuff,
I'll just be
what
like,
were we
"Can we not
thinking?
talk about this?"
What were we thinking at that time? But like I said, I want the Bucs to do it, but I just think the Seahawks, they're on a mission yet again.
They're always on a mission.
Yeah, but I think this year's different. This is a different kind of feeling to it.
Their running backs don't scare me.
I mean, they don't have to. The defense does enough.
That defense.
That defense does plenty.
That defense does scare me.
Now, we're going to take a shift in gears here. By the way, thank you for listening. You're listening to the Coping with the Sports World podcast. I am Cope or Joe, whatever you want to call me. I'm here with Chris Kessler, and this is our pilot episode, and we just spent the last, 55 minutes or so
Something like that.
talking about NFL predictions and what we think is going to happen with all their teams and records and such. So hopefully you've stuck around this long. If not, just skip around a little bit or find the section you like the most. But right now, we're going to shift to individual player accolades with our top 5 MVP finalists for this year. So who we think are going to finish 5 through 1, with the 1 being who we think is going to win the MVP this year. So do you want to start? Do you want to preface anything, or do you want me to jump right in?
You go ahead. Start it up, Joe. Start it up.
All right, I'm going to start it off with this, basically prefacing that there's a lot of talent in the NFL.
God.
A lot
I
of great
told you,
players.
After the top 3, I was like,
There's a
no
lot
idea.
of great players, but based off the records that I picked and things that are going to happen, finishing 5th in the MVP voting, I have quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr throws for 5,000 plus yards this year. He closes to 30 plus touchdowns, and like I said, he leads them to the AFC title game in a nail-biting shootout with the Patriots, which I think warrants him being a top 5 MVP candidate. 4th, I have the freak, that is Julio Jones, wide receiver, Atlanta Falcons. Again, I have the Falcons winning a playoff game as well, but Julio, I think, does Julio-like things. I think he gets 1,800 plus yards with probably, let's give him 12 touchdowns. Because, I mean, as a receiver, you have to put up insane numbers just to be in the conversation.
That's true. You have to put up some monstrous.
So I have him going 1,800 plus, 12 plus touchdowns as well, with maybe 90 plus catches as well. So ridiculous numbers if you have him in fantasy. But if you have a Derek Carr and Julio Jones combo in fantasy,
You're probably going to win.
You're going to have a great year. So I have Julio finishing 4th in the MVP voting, just ahead of Derek Carr. And now 3rd, kind of a cliche one, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, to have them going to the Super Bowl, so I think he's going to, even at 40 years old. I mean, last year he had a 28-2 or 25-2 kind of ratio,
right.
touchdown to interception ratio. And he lost Julian Edelman, I get that, but you got Brandon Cooks. So I think it's actually a better swap for him, to be honest. So I like the Patriots, Tom Brady to finish 3rd in the MVP voting. And 2nd, I have Aaron Rodgers, who would lead his team to the NFC Championship game, lost to the Seahawks. But Aaron Rodgers, I also think, throws for 40 touchdowns this year, 40 plus touchdowns.
Yes. I heard Tony Gonzalez say something the other day.
He's going to have the most passing yards.
Tom Brady's record
Mhm.
for touchdowns in a year.
That's 50.
Or no, is it Tom Brady's? I think it's Peyton Manning's.
Yes, it's 50.
Yeah, it's Peyton Manning's.
I think he'll get like 45 max, which is a ridiculous number.
They don't throw enough, which is weird with the Packers. They don't throw enough.
Right.
For them to have
I think he'll
50
have
touchdowns.
40 to 45 touchdowns and around 5,000 yards as he leads them to the promised land. Oh, not the promised land, almost promised land, NFC title game. But My most valuable player of this year is going to be David Johnson because I think he's the third running back in history to have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards this year. He's coming this year saying that's his goal, that's what he wants to do, and I think he can do it. I think he rushes for 1,300 yards and he has over 1,000 yards receiving, totaling 15 plus touchdowns. And if someone does that from the running back position, how can you not give them the MVP? His team gets a playoff spot as well too, so he's a playoff talent as well. I think David Johnson wins the MVP this year with a tremendous 1,000 season out of Arizona.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I think he's going to do the same thing. I think he's going to have 1,000. I have him getting 1,400 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. Because he's going to be the center point of that offense.
Yes.
They're going to have to run the ball a lot. They're going to have to pass the ball a lot. Oh yeah, no duh. That sounds pretty dumb, but now he's gonna touch a lot.
They're gonna have to score points to win games.
He's gonna go John Madden over here. The team that scores the most is gonna win.
So they can throw the ball and they run the ball.
No, but here, my MVP candidates. I couldn't pick 5. I did 6.
You have to be 5.
No,
narrow it down.
I can't do it. Jameis Winston and Derek.
You are a podcast co-host now. You have to
Jameis Winston and Derek Carr to me are going to have very similar
T5?
years. I have a T5, yeah. It's really going to come down to, can Jameis Winston not throw interceptions?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I kind of have it to the point where he kind of has to not throw interceptions. So, but if he doesn't throw a butt ton of picks, he's going to be within that. With Derek Carr. They're 4,500 to 5,000 yards passing. That's basically your top quarterbacks now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both going to be around that. I have them as my 5th.
Okay.
So I have Le'Veon Bell as my 4. I had the Steelers winning 12 games.
I mean, Le'Veon Bell just missed for me. But, yeah.
Le'Veon, he's going to carry that team to me. Because we all know Ben Roethlisberger can't play not at Pittsburgh. He is not good. Le'Veon Bell's still trying to get paid.
Yeah.
He's still trying to get paid, which means he still wants that money.
That's true.
And he came off of 1,300 yards last year, about.
Roughly.
He's going to top that. I think he's going for about 1,500 yards, maybe even 16 this year with about 12 touchdowns. He's not going to quite get to the David Johnson receiving, but he's still going to get you about 600 yards receiving.
I think it's more than that.
Well, I don't even know. What did he have last year? I know it was no.
Well, he also played 12 games last year. He still was like a fourth leading rusher in the NFL.
Yeah, he had 600 yards receiving last year.
In 12
he's
games.
going to have about 750, 800 yards receiving. So he's going to be up there with the David Johnson. He'll get more yards rushing, but he won't get as many receiving. My third is going to be Tom Brady. 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns.
Have that one identical.
Everybody knew that. My second, though, I have Aaron Rodgers taking the MVP.
Of course you do.
Of course, why wouldn't I?
So you have the Packers winning the Super Bowl, Rodgers winning the MVP. Take off the Packers gear there, pal.
I can't. It's stuck. No, David, like you said before, David Johnson is going to have that big year rushing and receiving. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to go over 5,000 yards passing, mainly because they're going to substitute for the run. They don't have a huge running back. They have a receiving running back, but they don't have that power back. They have to substitute. They're going to do those quick passes, quick slants, all that jazz. He's going to have 5,000 yards, and I think, like you said, 45 touchdowns. He might hit 50.
I think that's being a bit...
But 50 is being kind of like...
This ain't Madden, all right? This is real life.
Yeah, Madden. 75 touchdowns.
This is real life.
Then if he throws more than 10 picks, he's not going to win. I'll flip it. If he throws 10 picks, it's going to be David Johnson's going to win. Just because David Johnson is going to be all of Arizona. But it was tough for me to kind of... It was probably a homer pick.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Get out of here.
I couldn't quite tell if you're...
It's going to be... That voting would be close. If Rodgers does the 5,045 touchdowns with not many picks at all, and then David Johnson does the 1,500,000 yards.
1,500,000?
Yeah, 1,500.
1,500,000 yards. I'm going to nitpick at you all every week, man.
How's that 15,000 yards?
So we got 90% of 7 million people talking, agreeing with you. We got 1,500,000 yards. We got some insane world.
Two different numbers.
It's an insane world you live in there, Chris.
Especially in a world that has the Packers winning the Super Bowl and Rodgers winning the MVP.
Yeah, you act like it hasn't happened before.
Has it happened before?
I don't think.
See, you don't even know for sure.
I meant Brett Favre.
You can't throw that out there as if it happened with Rodgers
Get outta
before
here.
when it hasn't. Yeah. I'm just saying if
it
you're gonna.
hasn't happened with Rodgers. Rodgers did not win the MVP the year that they won the Super Bowl, but he did win it very soon after.
That's not the same with the same year.
Yes, I know.
All right, just making sure you're aware of what you're saying is going to happen.
But he's going to do it this year.
All right,
He's going to do it this year.
We'll see. I mean, he's number 2 on my list, so I mean, it's not like
he's not on the list. What are you talking about?
It's not like you said Sam Bradford MVP.
I had Jameis on my list and you didn't. So what?
Well, because that's up to 5. You went 6.
Yeah. I went to 5. I think I put Jameis over Derek Carr.
I mean, I can't. Derek Carr, I think, is going to have. If no one just breaks his leg this year,
that's true.
I think he's going to be fantastic with Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree and Beast Mode
And Jared Cook as a receiving tight end. I mean, he's not going to be
every year. I hear Jared Cook's in a new spot. Jared Cook's in a new spot.
He
had one great catch. He had one great catch.
He played throughout the playoffs pretty well.
Without that catch, does he have a memorable year with Green Bay?
No, because he only played 4 games.
He only played 4 games, but it's a great year.
He had a decent playoff run. He did what he was supposed to.
So did Joe Flacco.
Don't talk Joe Flacco with
me.
I
will say
I'm not saying that Jared Cook is the equivalent of Joe Flacco.
That's a weird comparison.
Yeah, but no, Jared Cook. Daraj. Jared Cook, I think, is gonna be decent. He's gonna be better than anything that they've had. Clyde Walford.
Well, Michael Rivera has been pretty solid for them.
That's true. He's that little step up though. He's got that talent.
But Rivera's gone, I'm pretty sure, too, anyway.
I think he is, yeah.
But Clyde Walford, I mean, in that offense, it's going to be Crabtree and Cooper first.
Yeah,
as it should be. As it should be.
Heck, Jared Cook might be the 4th guy.
Beast Mode has some good compliments in DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard, 2 explosive backs.
Oh, yes.
Because I don't think Marshawn's going to be as much of a monster as everyone thinks he's going to be.
No, because he's not going to get as many carries as people think he's going to get.
He'll get borderline 1,000. Borderline.
Yeah, he'll hit it. He might hit it.
He'll get like 9. He'll go 850 to 1150 range.
They're not going to wear him out. He's been out of football for a year, people.
Maybe that's a good thing though.
That's true.
The way he runs, maybe a year away.
A year to take the pounding away.
Yeah. I mean, I love Marshawn Lynch. He is my favorite player in the NFL.
Yeah, I really wish the Packers would have just traded AJ Hawk for him, but
that'd be a weird. That was the next. That was on the table.
I believe that actually at one point it was a rumor.
From the Bills or from the Seahawks?
From the Bills.
Okay, so before he was traded to Seattle.
He was traded to Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, but the hindsight is 2020 because I mean,
still wanted it at the time.
But then he drafted Eddie Lacy, and you were okay for 2 years.
2 years, yeah, we'd have been okay for a little more than 2 years.
If someone didn't find the cheese curds, Eddie Lacy, it's all right, Eddie.
Yeah, stay away from Kroll.
Cheese curds are good, man. I get it. We all understand. We get it.
Starbucks and eating salads.
But do you realize that he got paid $50,000 to weigh under 260?
That's ridiculous.
I'm 220. Where's my 60? Where's my 50 grand?
As a professional athlete, why do you need
incentive bonuses to not be
much
fat?
of an incentive to not be chubby?
I wonder, did Vince Wilfork have weight incentives, or did he just like they said whatever? Just
you're a defensive tackle. Be fat. Just be fat.
He was a big man.
He was a big man.
And he was a nose tackle. He's just straight up. Imagine being a center. Look it up and see.
Just looking at it, there's this big old fat one. I'm like, Vince just pictured Vince Wilfork in overalls. It's just great.
I mean, I love Eddie Lacy. Oh, I loved him more.
I loved him, yes.
But I mean, to see when he was like 235, bouncing off tacklers and spinning and just
monster.
Obviously,
I knew it was going to be hard for him to stay in Green Bay when he had that long run against Arizona.
And he gassed
out.
In
the playoffs, and he gassed off 20 yards down the field. Didn't play for the next 3 drives.
Well, he was winded.
Well, yeah, because you're the size of an old lineman.
Yeah, the old Lacy would have broken that for the house.
Well, he'd been gone.
I mean, he wouldn't have like blown them away or anything, but he would have brought it in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's also contributed to his ankle issues too.
Yeah, definitely.
270 pounds should not be cutting that way on
ankles.
Right.
Snapping ankles, snapping your own ankles now.
Your belly's going one way, your ankles are going the other way. Get that? What is that? What is that? I don't know what it's called. What are the physics terms for that? When like one thing goes one way and the other thing goes the other way.
I don't know. We'll have to ask. We'll have to ask them on the Facebook or something because I have no idea what that physics
What does this
word
mean?
is. What is that science word? I love physics. I do. I just am terrible at math and things like that, so I just can't do physics. I find physics fascinating.
It's like, yes. but
I
don't
find it
understand
100% fascinating, but I just I want to do it. I just can't. That's why I talk sports instead.
Yeah.
So, forget counting numbers. The only numbers I can count are statistics.
Exactly.
You give me sports numbers,
Figure out
good.
what the hell-
You give me
Mhm.
what's pi times 14x squared?
Huh?
Come
Why?
again, please. Come
Why?
again.
Can you just give me the answer? That'd be cool.
Just tell me the answer already,
I'm
please.
not gonna get it.
I literally am going to stare at this sheet for the next 10 minutes and then say, screw it.
Scrolling, just
And then I'm going to go end up doing sports stuff anyway. So just
The
tell
whole
me.
time I'm doing it, I'm just looking up sports statistics.
Should just tell me now so I can fiddle with my fantasy team already.
Pi times Eddie Lacy loves pie.
Speaking of fantasy, really quick before we wrap up today, what is your biggest fantasy football sleeper? Just one.
Sleeper. Oh, jeez, you
Sleeper.
can't even bring this up. Hold on. I have to look this up now. You go first. Let me look this up. You asked me because you didn't have.
I didn't have an answer either. I was hoping you'd have something. Here's a better question. Here, let's do a rookie impact. How about that? Is that better? Which rookie have a better fantasy impact?
Yes. Did you
Okay.
have that?
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, we're good. You were so excited.
While I can go and look and
Oh.
figure out what's going on.
Okay, so the question is, which rookie will have the biggest fantasy impact, or just regular impact, in 2017? I'm going to pick 3 names, okay? Number 1, Corey Davis, wide receiver, Titans. Kareem Hunt, running back, Chiefs. Or Dalvin Cook, running back, Vikings.
Oof.
Of those 3.
I'm not going to go Davis on that one. Davis, I'm not going to go just because I feel like Tennessee's going to run the ball a lot. And they have Rashard Matthews and Delaney Walker that are going to basically be ahead of them in targets.
Fair enough.
Dalvin Cook and Kareem Hunt. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt just because he's not splitting carries with anybody right
There you
now.
go, yeah. He has a chance to make that starting job his. Especially in Andy Reid, who likes to
Right.
just force feed the running back.
Here you go.
Running back, run.
Eat the ball.
I agree. Kareem Hunt, I think, has legitimate RB1 upside in fantasy terms. I think he's, ever since Spencer Ware got, I think prior to Spencer Ware's injury, he was more of a sleeper.
Yeah.
Now he's just like a sexy trending pick. Like,
Every draft I've done since
He went
Spencer
30th
Ware
on
got
Saturday
hurt.
in the draft,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
he went real early in the one I did on Sunday.
Corey Davis, I think, puts up some decent numbers. No,
I'm not saying he's going to be a
yeah,
bum.
no, I know. I think he has like 700 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, that kind of thing. Because there's so many weapons in that offense. And I think Dalvin Cook at some point takes over the job. But compared to Kareem Hunt, I think Kareem Hunt just purely volume based. Kareem Hunt will put up bigger
Just
numbers,
based on that, yeah.
both fantasy and in reality. I don't think Leonard Fournette has as good of a year as everyone's talking about. I think T.J. Watt puts up 7 sacks this year in his Steelers season.
TJ Watt just because he's got that Watt mentality.
Reuben Foster could be the next Patrick Willis.
He could if he can stay out of trouble.
That's true, yeah.
If he can stay
Deshaun
out of trouble.
Kaiser, nah, not impressed with.
Eh,
Miles Garrett, I think he might get
Miles Garrett, he's
8
gonna
to
he's
10.
gonna get some sacks.
8 to 10 sacks this year for Miles Garrett. Christian McCaffrey, I think, all-purpose yards, he comes close to 1,000 all-scrimmage yards. Probably like 500 rushing, or 500 receiving, 400 rushing, something like that. I think it's a decent impact for Christian McCaffrey, but I think Kareem Hunt is probably the best rookie, and Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon, at some point, probably like week 5 or at 6 or 7 range, Joe Mixon is the starting running back
he's
for the
gonna take
Bengals,
over. He's
and
gonna take
he
over.
has the talent to be the best rookie in this class. So I think it's Kareem Hunt and Joe Mixon for me as the 2 best rookie fantasy and reality impacts this year.
Yeah, I think that too. I like McCaffrey. I do like McCaffrey because he's going to get everything. He's not purely just a running back. He's going to play a lot in the slot.
True.
So he's going to get those slot passes. And he's going to get some runs. But I just do – I don't know who I like more, Mixon or McCaffrey. I'm not sure.
You could have 1A and 1B again. You could have a T1.
No, don't T1 me. Don't give me that crap. I would probably go McCaffrey over Mixon just based on the start of the year he's going to get.
Playing more,
He's
right?
going to get the ball.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Fantasy sleeper. I do like Rob Kelly for how late he's going.
I would take P. Ryan over Rob Kelly because I think P. Ryan's gonna take over that job too.
I think eventually. Yeah, for 10 weeks, who knows?
Derrick Henry is gonna be the guy though. Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's going to be.
That's
Derrick Henry is good at some point. DeMarco Murray is going to break down this year. I'm just calling it right now. He's going to break down, and Derrick Henry's going to take over, and he's going to be an RB1 workhorse. And DeMarco Murray will never regain a starting job. That's my guess. DeMarco Murray gets hurt at some point for X amount of weeks. Derrick Henry steps in, takes the job, makes it his, and it's the Mariota Henry show for the next 10 years in Tennessee. Or 5 years, I should say. I love me some Derrick Henry.
There's a reason you drafted Derrick Henry in the second freaking round.
Well, who the heck did that?
No.
Oh, I was like, what kind of fantasy person is doing that, right?
Drafting with no. In real life.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Even Thomas Rawls. I hear he's a starter.
Well, I'm staying away from the entire Seattle. I'm staying away from the whole Seattle backfield.
Like if he's there late, I'll think about it.
There's Procise and Lacey
Jimmy Hill
and
has
Carson.
been my last pick in 2 drafts.
That's fair. That's a flyer. Okay, that's a flyer. It's not bad.
Like who else am I gonna draft? Some bum I'm gonna drop in a week anyway.
I drafted Kenny Galladay in the 15th round in 1 draft. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that flyer right there. Yeah. But on that note, I think that covers up our first episode. Yeah. Hey, we went over an hour and 15 minutes. How about that?
That's nice.
That's classy. You know, we when you first came up, we're doing 2-hour shows, and no baby steps, one step at a time. One step at a time. But I had a lot of fun here tonight.
It was fun talking sports. I'm ready. This is like first episode. I kind of had the jitters.
We definitely will be working on the sound and clarity and minimizing echo and that kind of things as well.
Joe quieting down.
I don't think that'll ever
happen. That's not going to happen.
Joe will not quiet down. Joe is a loud man. That's right, man. And at some point, though, we will continue to work on it. It's like I said, this is a work in progress. And whenever you do listen, like I said, whenever we get this thing uploaded and shared on our Facebook page, and by the way, follow us on Facebook, Coping with the Sports World. Well,
Twitter.
You got to do more than retweet, all right?
We haven't exactly set up the Twitter yet. So.
Fair enough. Well, then like our Facebook page, Coping with the Sports World.
If you want to follow it, nothing's really going to happen yet, but
you can interact. You can interact. Don't discourage followers, Chris, all right?
No, follow. Please follow.
Don't beg either. It's poor taste. Poor taste. But yes, I am Joseph Copeland, or Cope.
And I am Chris Kessler.
And this has been Coping with the Sports World, and we hope that you enjoyed this first pilot episode of our podcast. And as we look forward in the future, we hope to help you cope with the sports world as much as we can. Have a great night or day whenever you watch this. See you later.